Greetings, combatants! A hearty welcome back to the nerdy corner of the internet, Marvelous Videos. In 1992, Midway Games Incorporated released a fighting game that would become what critics would call one of the best video games of all time, Mortal Kombat, which had players fighting for their realm against the evil empire of Outworld. At the time of its release, Mortal Kombat received a lot of criticism for its graphic violence and gore, and this was one of the key factors in the creation of the Entertainment Software Rating Board, or the ESRB. But now, with 25 games, animated TV shows, and live-action movies, it's a behemoth of a franchise. In this video, we're shedding light on the characters from the 1995 live-action adaptation of Mortal Kombat and its ill-fated 1997 sequel, which were loosely based on the video games and introduced new lore of their own. We're ready to explore everything about our brutal combatants, but before we get too far ahead of ourselves, we do have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to the channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Now, let's begin. Shao Kahn. In the video games, Shao Kahn is the terrifying emperor of Outworld who has an insatiable hunger for power and conquering realms. Kahn unfortunately doesn't make an appearance in the first movie, which was released in 1995 and directed by Paul Anderson, but you can sense his presence throughout as his sorcerer, Shang Tsung, does his bidding. Raiden describes him as an immortal who crowned himself the Emperor of Outworld. Shang Tsung is seen encouraging his fighters by saying that the Emperor will not be satisfied with them if they lose. Towards the end of the movie, as the Earthrealm warriors celebrate their victory, dark clouds begin to gather, and amidst them, we see Shao Kahn arriving to claim the souls of humans. In this second movie, Mortal Kombat Annihilation, directed by John R. Leonetti in 1997, the Emperor, having decided not to follow the rules of Mortal Kombat after his champions, Shang Tsung and Goro, failed to secure the 10th win, directly attacks Earthrealm. The imposing figure of Shao Kahn is portrayed by Brian Thompson. The Earth Warriors try to fight him off, but he's way too powerful for them, and he gets Sonya Blade under his foot, demanding that they stand down. Johnny immediately runs to her rescue and gets caught in Shao Kahn's chokehold. Raiden holds all of his generals with his lightning powers and says that he'll let them go if Kahn leaves Johnny. Kahn demands Raiden kneel at his feet and throw himself at Kahn's mercy. As soon as Raiden agrees, he snaps Johnny's neck. He announces that Earth was created in 6 days, and thus it will be destroyed in the same amount of time. Now that he had sufficiently intimidated his enemies, Shao Kahn leaves his assassins to finish the job and returns to Outworld to tell his father the good news. That's right, unlike the video games, Shao Kahn has a dad in the movies, and that dad is none other than the elder god Shinnok. Shinnok asks his son to first take care of Raiden, as they're already in hot water with the elder gods for disobeying the rules of Mortal Kombat. Kahn takes out the frustration of his father's disappointment in him on General Rain and kills him with his warhammer. Deeming the rest of his henchmen impetuous, Kahn appoints his newly resurrected wife Sindel to be the new general. Kahn also has Scorpion kidnap Kitana. He actually seems to care about Kitana though, as he tells her that he doesn't wish to see her die and even offers her a drink of water in the cage he imprisoned her in. In the final showdown, Liu Kang, Raiden, and their friends challenge Shao Kahn. Kahn kills Raiden with an energy blast and takes on Liu Kang while his minions face off against the rest. Both warriors tap into their animality, a special power that helps the fighters turn into a vicious beast, and Kahn's befitting animality is a multi-headed hydra. As their fight progresses, Kahn begins to bleed, which is unusual for an immortal. Shao Kahn begs his father for help, who tells him that his bleeding is the side effect of him breaking the Mortal Kombat rules and tries to finish off the Earthrealm warriors with his powers. But the Elder Gods intervene to stop Shinnok and declare a Mortal Kombat match between Shao Kahn and Liu Kang. The evil Emperor is defeated by the Shaolin monk, and the family tattoo of the Dragon Crest bursts open to free a dragon that leaves behind the husk of Kahn. Thus, Earth is free from the terror of the Outworld Emperor. Lord Raiden. The God of Thunder and the Protector of Earthrealm, Lord Raiden, is played by 2 actors. Christopher Lambert's take on Raiden is definitely the more likable, as he seems to have a weird sense of humor and giggles at the most random moments, while James Remar portrays the Protector as brooding and deep in the second movie. We first see Lord Raiden in Kang's Shaolin Temple in gray and white robes and his characteristic Asian conical hat, where he asks Liu Kang whether he can truly keep his personal grievances aside to fight for the sake of the planet in Mortal Kombat. Liu Kang lets him know that he intends to fight Shang Tsung whether Raiden approves or not. Raiden begrudgingly accepts this as they don't have much time. Later, he appears on Shang Tsung's ship that transports the warriors to the island where Mortal Kombat takes place. Shang Tsung, to test out the Earthrealm warriors, deploys his mind-controlled assassins, Sub-Zero and Scorpion, on Sonya Blade, Johnny Cage, and Liu Kang. Raiden zaps them both with his lightning powers and explains the rules of Mortal Kombat to the three warriors. Although he can't participate in the tournament due to his immortality, he advises the trio about fighting Shang Tsung and the Shao Kahn prince, Goro, and reveals their weaknesses to them so that they can work on them. When Shang Tsung kidnaps Sonya Blade into Outworld, Raiden cannot follow there and has to wait on Earth for the trio to return. Raiden welcomes them back with great joy, but it's not long-lasting as Shao Kahn soon attacks. Raiden tries to negotiate with the cruel Emperor, but he is dog-headed about the invasion, so Raiden goes to the Temple of the Elder Gods to ask them how they had ignored such a blatant disregard of rules. He's allowed to ask 3 questions, and all of Raiden's questions are met with ambiguous answers. One of the gods recommends reuniting Kitana with her mother to defeat Shao Kahn, while another says that defeating Shao Kahn is the only way to secure Earth. Before he leaves, the gods ask Raiden whether he believes in humankind enough to lay down his life for them. Raiden tells them that if it comes to that, he wouldn't hesitate. So he lays down his immortality to fight beside them and cuts down his long white hair. Raiden reunites with the warriors of Earthrealm, now joined by Jade and Jax. After Jade betrays them and it's revealed that reuniting Kitana with Sindel doesn't work, Raiden realizes that it was actually Shinnok that was lying to him when he asked the Elder Gods to deter them from hunting down Kahn. Raiden reveals to his friends that he is actually the son of Shinnok and Shao Kahn is his brother. He tells them about their family crest, a dragon tattoo, which allows the people who have it to safely travel interdimensionally. This small obstacle doesn't deter Raiden, who is reignited in the fight against his brother and father. As they confront Shao Kahn and his generals, Raiden is given one last chance by Shinnok to join his family and rule Earth together. Raiden flat out refuses and is given a fatal blow by his brother. As he lies dying in Kang's arms, he tells Kang that he is happy to be dying as a mortal, just like Liu Kang. After Kang defeats Kahn, the Elder Gods revive the dead Thunder God and give him the opportunity to replace his father as an Elder God. He accepts and bids farewell to his friends, asking them to always stay together and have each other's backs, as they are now a family. Liu Kang, the Earthrealm warrior and champion of Mortal Kombat, is the main protagonist in both movies. A Shaolin monk and the descendant of the legendary Kung Lao, Liu Kang lost his parents at a young age and he was brought up by his grandfather. He was also super protective of his younger brother, Chan Kang. Due to some unknown reasons, Kang left the temple and went to America. During this time, his brother Chan was killed by Shang Tsung. Kang gets a nightmare about his death, which is strangely factual. Kang tells his grandfather about this, who in turn tells the senior monks at the Shaolin Temple. As they all consider the dream to be a sign of his selection into Mortal Kombat, they begin assessing his capability. They are joined by Raiden, who asks Liu Kang if he can fight for the cause of Earth. Kang initially dismisses Mortal Kombat as just a legend with no basis in reality, and even calls the Thunder God Raiden a beggar. But Raiden invites him to combat and knocks him down without breaking a sweat. Humiliated but unperturbed, Kang says that he will go fight Shang Tsung with or without their approval, and leaves. On the dock of Shang Tsung's ship, Kang meets Johnny Cage, who asks him to transport his luggage onto the ship in exchange for money. Liu Kang is insulted by this and throws his suitcase into the sea, but this animosity is short-lived as they soon begin to get along. On the island, his eyes fall on Kitana, the beautiful adopted daughter of Shao Kahn. Kitana too seems to be attracted to him as they keep stealing glances at each other. He doesn't let her distract him from his goal of vengeance though, as he sneaks into a private chamber with Johnny and Sonya and eavesdrops on a conversation between Shang Tsung, Goro, and Kano. He hears Shang Tsung tell Goro about how Kitana is a liability and she must be kept away from Liu Kang. Kang is mostly confused by this conversation. He doesn't get a chance to see Kitana again until the second match of the tournament, where he has to face her in combat. During this fight, despite Shang Tsung's continuous warnings, Kitana advises Liu Kang to use the element that brings life. Liu Kang isn't sure whether he should trust her or not, but he bests her and faces Sub-Zero next. He's no match for the water and ice manipulation powers of Sub-Zero, but remembers Kitana's advice and throws a bucket of water at him when he projects an icy force field. The water turns into a sharp icicle and kills Sub-Zero. Sensing that the Earthrealm warriors might seize victory, Shang Tsung escapes to Outworld with Sonya and Kang follows him with Johnny. As they figure out the path to the Dark Tower, Liu Kang realizes that they're being followed by Reptile, the invisible spy of Shang Tsung, and catches him. After finishing him off, they meet Kitana, who tells them that in the Dark Tower, Liu Kang will have to face himself, his enemy, and his worst fear. They make their way to the Dark Tower, where Sonya is tied up and being forced by Shang Tsung to accept his challenge. Liu Kang reveals himself and challenges Tsung. The fight begins, and Kang is faced with the souls of the 1,000 warriors the sorcerer had consumed. To confuse him further, Shang Tsung takes on the form of his brother Chan, but Liu Kang sees through this disguise and kills him, releasing the souls of everyone he had ever consumed. One of those souls is his brother, Chan Kang, who tells him that he will always be with him in spirit and to go in peace until they reunite one day in the future before ascending to the afterlife. Happy that they saved Earth, the warriors of Earthrealm return to Liu Kang's Shaolin Temple but are met with the impatient Outworld Emperor Shao Kahn, who invades the realm despite the rules of Mortal Kombat. Shao Kahn has Kitana kidnapped, and Raiden recommends that Liu Kang seek Nightwolf, who can train him to destroy the Outworld Emperor. Nightwolf teaches Liu Kang to tap into his animality and knocks him out to put him in a dream state. In his dreams, he sees Kitana say she's disappointed in him for letting her down, and Nightwolf talks him through the guilt he is facing by asking him to focus on the mission at hand. When he wakes up, he sees a woman named Jade who tries to seduce him. When Kang doesn't give in, Jade fights him. After he defeats her, Jade tells him that it was a test and joins him to help him in his quest. After he rescues Kitana, Jade reveals herself to be Shao Kahn's spy who was diverting them from pursuing Shao Kahn. Dejected but still resolute on his path, Liu Kang challenges Shao Kahn directly and by tapping into his animality, defeats the evil emperor. With Shao Kahn's death, Earth is restored and peace reigns once more. In both movies, Liu Kang is played by Robin Shou, one of only 2 actors to play the same role in both movies. Shou also choreographed the fighting sequences for the first movie with Pat E. Johnson.
Face me!
Shang Tsung. The wily sorcerer Shang Tsung is played by the actor Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa in a portrayal that is considered the most accurate representation in these movies. In the movie, we see Tsung arrive on Earth to carry out the orders of his emperor, Shao Kahn, and he personally picks out the players. He kills Chan Kang to enrage Liu Kang, employs Kano to kill Sonya's partner, and impersonates Billy Boyd, Johnny's martial arts instructor, to encourage Johnny to take part in the combat. Much like in the video games, Shang Tsung is no rule follower and tries to finish the combat before it starts by sending his enslaved warriors, Sub-Zero and Scorpion, to attack Johnny, Sonya, and Liu Kang, but his plan is prevented by Raiden. Shang Tsung is definitely steadfast in his path and does everything he can to facilitate Kahn's invasion. He asks Reptile to spy on Kitana so she doesn't end up colluding with the Earth fighters and encourages Kano and Goro to win at all costs. Shang Tsung seems to have a weird obsession with Sonya Blade throughout the film. He keeps complimenting her and calling her beautiful, and also asks Kano not to harm her during the tournament, only to humiliate her. As the tournament begins, he acts as the host and decides who enters the fight. He also absorbs the souls of the defeated fighters. Because of this, he's a formidable foe as he has the souls of 1,000 warriors and uses all of their strength. When Johnny defeats Goro, he pulls Sonya Blade with him to Outworld and forces her to accept his challenge, but Sonya smartly replies that her friends will soon arrive to get her out. She was right after all, as Kang arrives and challenges Shang Tsung to a fight. None of his schemes work against Liu Kang as he sees through them all and kills the Dark Sorcerer. All of the souls inside him escape to the afterlife and only his skeleton is left behind. Johnny Cage. Played by Lyndon Ashby, Johnny Cage is a Hollywood superstar who absolutely loves his sunglasses. We first see Johnny on the set of a movie as he goes on a tirade against the extras and the director. A complete diva, Johnny Cage has been having some troubles with the press as they claim that he fakes his stunts, despite Johnny being a trained martial artist and one of the best on Earth. He's visited by his tutor, Master Boyd, who tells him to head to a tournament which can prove to everybody and himself that he has great prowess in martial arts. Cage agrees and leaves, with so many bags and suitcases that you'd think he's leaving for at least a year. On the pier, he meets Art Lean and they trade compliments about their moves. He boards the ship and meets Sonya and Kang. Though they aren't very friendly at the beginning, after they fight off Shang Tsung's minions and are given a talking to by Raiden, they realize the gravity of their situation and begin to get along. He keeps trying to impress Sonya and woo her, but Sonya is too caught up in her pursuit of Liu Kang to care about his advances. Johnny snoops around Shang Tsung's castle with Sonya and Liu Kang and sees Goro, Shang Tsung, and Kano planning the tournament. In the first match, Johnny takes on Scorpion and beats him. After he sees Goro defeat Art Lin and Shang Tsung absorb Lin's soul, he asks Shang Tsung to let him take a shot at Goro as he doesn't want his friends to be killed. Shang Tsung agrees and the match is set. Goro, unfortunately, breaks Johnny's glasses worth about $500, and Johnny gets mad enough to fight the Shao Kahn prince off a cliff and into his death. He's mostly a spectator after this, watching Shang Tsung kidnap Sonya and Liu Kang defeating Shang Tsung. After their return to Earth, Shao Kahn attacks. Kahn steps on Sonya's neck and asks Raiden to surrender. Johnny, who has changed actors and is now portrayed by Chris Conrad, rushes at him with reckless abandon, and Shao Kahn grabs him by the neck. Kahn repeats his threat that he will kill Raiden's warriors if he doesn't throw himself at Kahn's mercy. Raiden agrees, and instead of following through on his promise, he snaps Johnny's neck. Unfortunately, that's the horrible ending given to our superstar diva.
Get over here!
Scorpion! Hanzo Hasashi, the undead ninja warrior better known as Scorpion, doesn't get much of a backstory in the movies. When we first see him, he's controlled by Shang Tsung's power, and we can tell this by his eyes, which appear to be gray and cloudy. Dressed in his characteristic yellow, Scorpion's main weapon is a mechanical rope that pierces out of the palm of his hand. This rope dart also has a black reptile head that opens its mouth to bite into his enemies. Under Shang Tsung's orders, he attacks the Earthrealm warriors on the ship and is shocked by Raiden's lightning. We next see him in the tournament where he's asked to fight Johnny Cage. Scorpion transports Cage to a red room filled with skeletons, which is perhaps a place in Shang Tsung's castle or perhaps a place in the Netherrealm. During the fight, Scorpion pulls off his mask to reveal his skull, with flames where his eyes are supposed to be. Scorpion breathes fire on Johnny, and using a large disc as a shield, Johnny survives, but the shield has now caught on fire and he uses it to attack Scorpion, destroying him in the process. Voiced by Ed Boon himself and played by Chris Casamas, this is all we see of him in the first movie. As he is an undead warrior, it's no surprise that Scorpion reappears in the sequel. He's sent by Shao Kahn to capture Kitana, and Scorpion interrupts the collusion between the new Sub-Zero, Kitana, and Liu Kang. He attacks Sub-Zero first, classic, subduing him to the point that Liu Kang rushes over to help him, and using Liu Kang's distraction from Kitana, he captures her. J.J. Perry takes the role of Scorpion in this movie, although he's continued to be voiced by Ed Boon.
Move aside.
Sub-Zero. Bi-Han, or Sub-Zero, is a Lin Kuei warrior with powers of manipulating water and ice. Although we don't know how Tsung manages to get him under his magical enslavement, we can assume that his powers had something to do with it. Just like Scorpion, Sub-Zero's eyes appear gray and cloudy as he is commanded to attack Johnny, Sonya, and Liu Kang. Sonya pulls her gun on him and he freezes and breaks it, but before he can take any of them out, Raiden appears and attacks them with electricity. The next we see of Sub-Zero is in Shang Tsung's castle, where he's asked to give the fighters a taste of what's to come. He fights against one of Shang Tsung's men and freezes him solid before landing a blow that crumbles him into pieces. He's made to face Liu Kang in the tournament, and at first, his icy powers give him the upper hand over the mortal, but Liu Kang remembers the helpful tip that Kitana had given him in the previous match and chucks a bucket of water at him when Sub-Zero is fortifying himself with his powers. Sub-Zero's powers turn the water into a giant icicle and he is impaled. In Mortal Kombat Annihilation, Sub-Zero helps Kitana and Liu Kang destroy the cyborg assassin Smoke. Liu Kang is shocked to see him as he had assumed that Sub-Zero was killed in the tournament. Sub-Zero explains that he is Sub-Zero's younger brother, so we can safely assume that he is Kuai Liang, even though his name isn't mentioned. Sub-Zero also lets them know that Smoke was reprogrammed by Shao Kahn to stop Kitana because of the legend that Kitana's reunion with Sindel will derail Shao Kahn's plans. As a token of goodwill, he builds them a bridge from ice so that they can get out of the chasm created by Smoke's bomb, but Scorpion soon attacks and kidnaps Kitana. Sub-Zero talks Liu Kang out of following them, telling him that he's not prepared to face Kahn and that he needs the help of Nightwolf to succeed. Francois Petit plays the Cryomancer in the first movie, and Keith Cook, who played the role of Reptile in the 1995 movie, replaced him in the sequel. Goro! The reigning champion of the tournament and Shao Kahn Prince Goro was a combination of the physique of Tom Woodruff Jr. and the voice of Kevin Michael Richardson. The half-human, half-dragon is a terrifying figure with red skin and 4 arms. Goro is also a general to the Emperor's forces and is proud of his role. At first, we only see his hand with 3 thick fingers spying on the Earthrealm warriors. He's also prideful as he boasts of his prowess, but Shang Tsung reminds him not to underestimate Liu Kang, as his ancestor was the legendary Kung Lao. Goro is definitely a showman as he focuses on not just defeating his opponent, but also humiliating him for the cheering crowds. His first opponent is Art Lean, who's easily defeated. Next, Johnny Cage asks to fight him. Cage stuns Goro with a below-the-belt attack, and while Goro writhes in pain, he runs away towards a cliff. The fight ends with Johnny Cage forcing the Shao Kahn prince off the cliff. Fatality. Sonya Blade. The video games tell us that Sonya is a general of the Special Forces on Earth, but we don't get much information about her job in the movies except for the fact that she's a lieutenant. The blonde combatant doesn't seem to trust anyone, not even her second-in-command, Officer Jax, as she pursues Kano, the man who murdered her partner. She even quips that the only person she trusts is herself. As they zip through a nightclub, one of Kano's men attacks them and she beats him up until he gives her Kano's location, aboard Shang Tsung's ship. So she follows the tip to the ship, and after seeing no sign of Kano anywhere on the dock, she boards it. On the ship, Johnny tries to hit on her, but she threatens him with her gun and he momentarily backs off. That gun is probably Blade's best friend, as she keeps threatening people with it at the slightest inconvenience. Unfortunately, the gun meets its demise when Sub-Zero attacks and breaks it with his ice powers. Raiden tells Sonya about the tournament, and even though she finds it hard to believe that the fate of Earth is dependent on a few people on a raggedy ship, she goes along for the ride in hopes of imprisoning Kano. She soon gets her wish when the Mortal Kombat begins and she gets to face Kano. Despite Kano having a weapon, Sonya kills him with her martial arts skills. As the tournament progresses, Raiden tells her that she needs to learn to trust and that it's okay to ask for help every now and then. This is perhaps the best advice Raiden ever gave, as soon after, she's captured by Shang Tsung and taken to Outworld, where he demands she accept his challenge. But Sonya tells him that she trusts her friends to come and save her and doesn't accept it. Her trust is rewarded by Liu Kang, who kills Shang Tsung, and they all go back home to Earth where a new terror awaits them. Shao Kahn, disappointed in not securing the 10 wins in Mortal Kombat needed to invade Earth, decides to forget the rules and invade anyway. Sonya is the first to be attacked, and Johnny Cage gets killed trying to save her. Raiden tells Sonya that since this time there are no rules, they need all the help they can get, and asks her to go get Jax and come to the Temple of the Elder Gods. She meets Jax in the research facility where he just got his cybernetic enhancers, but before they can leave, they're attacked by the Lin Kuei warriors, led by Cyrax. They defeat them and head to the predestined spot. On their way, Jax tries to get up to speed on what's happening, but Sonya is uncooperative and doesn't tell him much. She's attacked by Mileena and a beast from Outworld, but with the help of Jax, they defeat both of them and make it to the temple. However, the temple is attacked by Shao Kahn's new general, his resurrected wife Sindel, and they're forced to retreat. They make their way to Outworld and, based on Raiden's conversation with the Elder Gods, decide to capture Sindel to reunite her with Kitana, but it turns out to be a distraction set up by Shao Kahn to delay the warriors. Sonya notices the same dragon tattoo on Raiden that she previously saw on Mileena and demands an explanation. Doubting whether Raiden is trustworthy, Sonya is shocked when he reveals that he is Shao Kahn's brother and Shinnok's son, and her trust is restored after hearing the story. She goes with him, Liu Kang, and Jax to challenge Kahn and fights against Ermac. The red-clad ninja casts out Noob Saibot and overpowers Sonya, but Jax comes to her rescue and deals with the shadowy ninja, allowing the lieutenant to win over Ermac. After Kang defeats Kahn and they all return home, she high-fives Jax to celebrate their victory. Bridget Wilson and Sandra Hess depicted Sonya in the first and second movie, respectively. Jax. Jax is a fellow Special Forces officer with Sonya who tries a lot to gain her trust. He's not properly fleshed out in the first movie and is just going around with Sonya until she leaves him behind to board Shang Tsung's ship. In the second movie, when Lynn Red Williams takes over from Gregory McKinney to portray the officer, Jax is much funnier, dishing out smart remarks left and right. He also has a huge confidence problem and gets cybernetic arm implants which quadruple his strength. He's in the research facility with metal cuffs holding him down when Sonya wakes him up to save Earth. Jax is understandably quite confused, but he trusts Sonya enough to get moving and snaps off the cuffs with his new arms. He begins to understand the gravity of the situation when Cyrax and his warriors attack. After fighting them off and making it out of the research facility, he notices the decaying nature of Earth and asks Sonya for an explanation. She doesn't tell him anything though, as she's still grieving over Johnny Cage's death. He gets up to speed when he meets Raiden, who not only explains the situation, but also tells him that he doesn't need any weapons and just needs to trust himself. Jax seems to have internalized this advice as he pulls off the implants during his final fight with Motaro and achieves victory. Jax also helps Sonya deal with Ermac, and once everything turns back to normal, He tells Sonya that this was the longest week of his life. Smoke! Smoke, played by Ridley Sui, is a cyborg assassin who attacks Kitana and Liu Kang on their way to meet Nightwolf. Sub-Zero arrives and freezes him up, and as a last-ditch resort, he deploys the explosive in his chest, but it does no good as Kang and Kitana jump to safety. There's no backstory given to him, and we don't know why he serves Shao Kahn. Kano, the leader of the Black Dragon clan. Kano is a ruthless criminal who deals arms in both Outworld and Earth. The only detail the movies mention is that he has some clout in the underworld. What he does or how he achieved it stays unknown. We also don't know how he got mixed up with Shang Tsung, but Tsung offered him a hefty price in exchange for luring Sonya into Mortal Kombat by killing her partner. He's a degenerate through and through and does whatever he can for money. Shang Tsung even describes him as a disreputable-looking cretin. What a painful yet eloquent tongue-lashing. There's a reason Shang Tsung's one of the best characters in these movies. Shang Tsung later commands him to humiliate and defeat Sonya Blade without harming her, and during the fight, he pulls out a barbed knife and taunts Sonya that this was the weapon with which he carved an ear-to-ear smile on her partner. Despite having a weapon, Sonya overpowers him. In his last moments, Kano begs her to give him a break, and Sonya says, okay, and savagely breaks his neck. Though the games don't mention his nationality, Trevor Goddard's portrayal of him in an Australian accent was received so well by fans that the creators of the games changed his nationality permanently. Kitana. Other than Shu, Talissa Soto, the portrayer of Kitana, is the only actor to reprise her role in both movies. Unlike her character in the video games, she doesn't wear a lot of blue and prefers black. Kitana was the daughter of the original rulers of Outworld, and she was adopted by Shao Kahn to ensure his claim over Outworld's throne. So, understandably, she's not super supportive of her adoptive father, and as soon as Liu Kang steps foot onto Shang Tsung's island, she decides to help him defeat Shao Kahn. She first gives a hint to Liu Kang about how to defeat Sub-Zero in the tournament and advises him on facing Shang Tsung. When Tsung captures Sonya, she rebukes him for disobeying the rules of the tournament. Unfortunately, preventing Khan's 10th win isn't enough to keep him away from Earthrealm. During his attack, Kitana is shocked to see her mother, Queen Sindel, with them. Raiden explains that she played an important role in helping Shao Kahn invade Earth, and she's been corrupted by Shao Kahn. Khan also has Scorpion kidnap Kitana and keep her in a cage in his castle. Kang breaks her out of there as the Earthrealm warriors are convinced that reuniting Kitana with her mother would foil Shao Kahn's plot. So, she's taken to Sindel, who has been knocked out by Sonya. Kitana kisses her, but Sindel wakes up laughing and tells her that she killed herself because she had a kid like Kitana. Ouch. But this comment is enough to make her realize that it's not her mother and that the legend about her love was just made up by Shao Kahn. She goes with the warriors to Shao Kahn's castle again and fights with Sindel. She captures her and holds her hostage, making her watch the downfall of Shao Kahn to restore peace to her mother's soul. After Shao Kahn's death, Kitana is reunited with her mother, who's no longer under the evil emperor's control. Reptile. The humanoid reptile, known aptly as Reptile, is played by Keith Cook in his human form. For most of the movie, Reptile is a form-changing, lizard-like creature. A fun fact about this character is he was not a part of the original script of the movie. After the focus groups gave the film disappointing reviews, the creators decided to add Reptile. The character is quite impressive as he's an expert in espionage and can hide in plain sight by taking the form of a statue or going invisible. Shang Tsung asks him to keep an eye on Kitana to prevent her from forming an alliance with the Earthrealm warriors. He later follows Liu Kang and Johnny Cage through their journey through Outworld. Kang somehow senses Reptile's existence and begins to fight him. During the fight, he throws him into what looks like empty armor, and the Reptile morphs into a humanoid warrior. In the fierce battle that ensues, Kang defeats Reptile. The fight between Kang and Reptile wasn't just fierce on screen and resulted in 2 broken ribs for Robin Shu. Shu's pain would not be in vain, however, as this fight has been lauded by fans as one of the best sequences in the movie. Chan Kang. Chan Kang is the younger brother of Liu Kang who lived with his grandfather in the Shaolin Temple. Kang lost both his parents at a young age and was looked after by Liu Kang until he left for America. Shang Tsung later killed Chan and absorbed his soul, possibly to push Liu into participating in Mortal Kombat. Unlike Liu, Chan seems to have a lot of faith in the legends as implied by Liu and his grandfather. Shang Tsung turns into Chan while battling Liu Kang and tries to trick him, but he sees past it, and after Liu kills Shang Tsung, Chan Kang's soul escapes from the Dark Sorcerer. Chan tells Liu that he will always be with him in spirit until the day they reunite once more and tells him to go in peace. Master Boyd. Billy Boyd, who is also called Master Boyd, is a martial arts tutor. One of his students is the Hollywood superstar Johnny Cage. We don't see Master Boyd in any of the video games, but Johnny and Shang Tsung talk about him in Mortal Kombat 11 when Tsung says that Boyd sent his regards. Hearing this, Johnny asks whether he killed his master, and Shang Tsung replies that his old master was no match for him. In the movie, Master Boyd is played by Peter Jason, and he visits Johnny on the set of his new film. Boyd calls Johnny one of the best martial artists in the world and offers to help him prove it. He gives him a scroll and tells him to attend a once-in-a-lifetime tournament that will guarantee him fame if he wins. However, it's later revealed that Master Boyd was just Shang Tsung in disguise.
So good of you to join us, son. In less than 1 hour.
Shinnok. The Elder God Shinnok is mostly referenced in the games as the fallen Elder God. He gets rebranded in the movies though and is played by German actor Rainer Schone. Dressed in black robes in the movies, Shinnok is the father of Shao Kahn and Lord Raiden. He decreed that the heir to his throne should be strong enough to kill his brother in battle if necessary and forced his sons to fight. Raiden managed to defeat Shao but could not bring himself to kill him. As a result, Shinnok cast out Raiden and Shao Kahn was appointed king. Shinnok seems to be the driving force behind Shao Kahn's ambition to merge Outworld with Earth. Shinnok has high expectations from his son and doesn't tolerate any excuses. His status as an elder god is highly debatable, as in the early scripts it's mentioned that he was the one in the Temple of the Elder Gods who lied to Raiden about reuniting Kitana with Sindel. But there's no mention of it in the movie, and it could just be conjecture. Shinnok also tries to intervene in the final fight between Kahn and Liu Kang, but the other Elder Gods arrive and imprison him in a cubic prison as punishment for disregarding the rules of Mortal Kombat. Motaro. Motaro is the Centaurian warrior who serves Shao Kahn and is played by Darren McBee. He doesn't get along with Sheeva, another of Shao's lackeys, and is constantly seen squabbling with her. After Shao Kahn killed Rain for not killing humans, Motaro threw his hat into the ring to be considered a general and claimed that centaurs are known for their hunting prowess. He promises to hunt down every single human soul for Shao Kahn, but his promises are useless as Kahn picks Sindel. Ugh, nepotism. However, the loyal servant of Shao Kahn gets another chance to serve him during the final showdown when he has to take on Jax. He swats Jax away with his tail and insults him, saying that without his weapons he'd be no match for the Centaurian, and pulls away his cybernetic arm. This doesn't have the intended effect on Jax, who gets a second wind and throws away his other arm to show Motaro that he can defeat him without any weapons. Motaro crashes down after a fatal blow from Jax. Sindel. Sindel is the mother of Kitana, and gamers will know that she's also Shao Kahn's wife. In the first movie, Kitana tells Liu Kang that her mother was killed by Shao Kahn, but in the second movie, she tells Kahn that she will always despise the man who drove her mother to kill herself. So it is possible that Sindel actually killed herself, but as Kitana blames Kahn for her suicide, she attributed her death to Kahn. There's no mention as to whether Kahn married Sindel or not, but he revives her on Earth and corrupts her to help him invade Earth. Evil Sindel is appointed Kahn's general, and she has a piercing and shrill scream which she wields as a weapon. With this scream, she takes down the Temple of the Elder Gods. Shao Kahn, with the help of his father, spreads a legend that says reuniting Kitana with Sindel would stop the invasion and instructs Sindel and Jade to ambush all of the warriors and kill them. But Sindel and Jade decide against it as they're outnumbered and escape back to the castle of Outworld. In the final battle, Sindel fights against her daughter and is defeated. However, after Shao Kahn's death, Sindel is freed from the hold of Shao Kahn and restored to her normal self. She embraces her daughter. Sheeva. Like all Shao Kahns, Sheeva is four-armed and powerful. She serves Shao Kahn and was appointed as the protector of Queen Sindel. Sheeva is seen constantly arguing with Motaro. When he boasts about being able to take millions of souls under his control, Sheeva remarks that he would have been imprisoned in a zoo. Motaro doesn't hold back and says that if that meant that he could be away from Sheeva, he would be glad to be kept in a zoo. Sheeva attacks Motaro because of this, but Shao Kahn's arrival stops her from doing anything drastic. She also tells Shao Kahn that Motaro is not trustworthy when Kahn is looking for a general. Sheeva seems to enjoy more trust from her master than the others, as she is left to guard the kidnapped princess Kitana. But she's no match for our hero, Liu Kang, who rescues Kitana and kills Sheeva in the process. Jade. Jade is yet another of Shao Kahn's lackeys. She was directed by Kahn to ambush all the fighters and kill them, so she approaches Kang first, who is just waking up from the dreamy state Nightwolf put him in. She creates a snowy atmosphere and seductively tries to trap Liu Kang. When Kang doesn't give in, she attacks him but is soon defeated. She tells Kang that this was just another of Nightwolf's tests and that she was going to help him reunite Kitana with her mother and break Shao Kahn's hold on Earth. Kang trusts her and decides to take her along. When Kitana is reunited with Sindel, Jade and Sindel taunt and tease the warriors for believing in the legend, which was made up. But instead of slaughtering them as Shao Kahn instructed, Jade escapes with Sindel as they are clearly outnumbered. Shao Kahn is none too pleased and kills Jade. Russian model and actress Irina Pantieva portrays the treacherous seductress Jade. Baraka. Baraka, the leader of the Tarkatan hordes, is an unpredictable and mean warrior who serves Emperor Shao Kahn, but we don't get to see much of him in the movies. He and 4 of his Tarkatan soldiers try to stop Liu Kang from rescuing Kitana in the Emperor's castle, but he is easily ended by the Shaolin warrior, Liu Kang. Baraka is played by Dennis Kiefer and is shown to have huge pointy teeth. Cyrax. J.J. Perry is the actor inside the armor of Cyrax, the Lin Kuei assassin who's a part of Kahn's extermination squad. He's sent to kill Sonya and Jax, but Jax's new arms are powerful enough to defeat Cyrax. As a Hail Mary, Cyrax deploys the explosive in his chest, but Sonya and Jax safely escape. Raiden. Raiden is a demigod and a prince of Edenia, but in the movies, he's stripped of this identity and is nothing but Kahn's general. Raiden reports to Shao that he has taken 2 of the most powerful warriors on Earth as prisoner, Cabal and Stryker. Kahn asks him whether they begged for their lives when he killed them. Confused, Raiden tries to explain that they're not actually dead, and before he can explain his reasoning, Kahn kills him with his warhammer. Tyrone Wiggins, who also worked as a stunt coordinator for the movie, represented Raiden. Nightwolf. Nightwolf is the Native American warrior whose animality is a wolf. He only appears in the second film and helps Liu Kang reach his own animality. Nightwolf was played by Lightfoot, the Native American rapper and actor. Ermac. The ninja Ermac has powers of telekinesis and is a native of Outworld. He doesn't seem to have these powers in the movie, but he can cast a shadowy double during fights. Ermac, played by John Medlin, doesn't have any dialogue in the movie, and the only time he grabs the limelight is during his fight with Sonya. He easily overpowers her with the help of his shadowy duplicate, Noob Saibot, but when Jax intervenes, he's easily defeated. Mileena. Yet another character whose backstory has been destroyed and rendered into a 2-dimensional character is Mileena. She has a rich origin story, with Shao Kahn asking Shang Tsung to create a clone of Kitana and him using the DNA of a Tarkatan to create the monstrous Mileena. But does the movie take this into account? Absolutely not. Mileena just jumps in to fight Sonya and Jax at one point, and she doesn't even resemble Kitana. Played by Dana He, Mileena is mistaken by Sonya for Kitana for a very brief moment and is defeated the very next. Art Lean. Art Lean, depicted by Kenneth Edwards, was a character made especially for the 1995 movie and plays a small role. We see him first on the pier, complimenting Johnny's fighting moves, and then we see him in a fight against Goro. As Johnny, Kang, and Sonya cheer for him, he tries his best to overcome the power of the Shao Kahn Prince, but he's not able to, and after his loss, Lean's soul is consumed by Shang Tsung. Noob Saibot. Another character done to dirt by the movies is Noob Saibot, the revived form of Bi-Han or the original Sub-Zero. If you're not an ardent fan of the games, you'd never be able to figure out who Saibot is, as he has neither any dialogue nor does anyone speak to him. He's cast out by Ermac while fighting Sonya and is vanquished by Jax. That's it. No explanation as to who he is or what he is. J.J. Perry, who plays Cyrax and Scorpion, also plays Noob Saibot. Marvelous verdict. One of the main reasons we think Mortal Kombat Annihilation failed so terribly at the box office is because of the lack of depth the new characters showed. The first movie gave everyone solid backstories, and we knew what motivated them to be doing what they were doing, but in Mortal Kombat Annihilation, characters are shooed in one after the other for meaningless fight sequences, often when they mean nothing plot-wise. Anyways, we're still grateful to the 1995 movie for the wonderful portrayals it did give us. Who's your favorite character from the movies? What's your favorite moment from these films? Let us know in the comments down below. We want to hear your thoughts on things, and we're always looking for ideas for new videos, so, don't be shy. That's all we got for you this time, though, so thanks for watching, stay safe out there, and have a marvelous day.